Let's talk about buyer's agent compensation. Now, it used to be that more often than not, compensation for buyer's agents was paid by the seller. Now, regulations have changed. The responsibility to pay for the compensation for buyer representation, the agent that represents and protects you, falls on you, the buyer. The buyer's agent can still negotiate with the seller's agent to get them to contribute to that compensation or pay it off, whether it be the entire amount or a portion of it. They can still negotiate that. But now with all the new regulations that all agents must follow, at the end of the day, making sure that the buyer's agent is compensated is now the responsibility of the buyer. Legally, you have to sign an agreement before any buyer's agent in the United States can work with you. That agreement will always say that the buyer is ultimately responsible to pay the buyer's agent compensation, not the seller. That's it. The seller can still pay or contribute to the buyer's agent compensation. It just has to be negotiated off the MLS. Now, the new regulation does not say that the sellers can't pay the buyer's representation fee. It's something that can be negotiated on your behalf. Some sellers will still choose to pay the buyer's agent compensation and some won't. So you can choose to write an offer on a home where the seller pays the fee for your buyer's agent, or you can choose not to write an offer on a home that the seller is not willing to pay it. And again, all commissions or compensation is always negotiable between all parties, and it always has been. There's no traditional, customary, or standard compensation amount. Compensation can seem like a big chunk, so is it really worth it? If you choose the right brokerage to represent you, it definitely is. Sellers' agents are just that. They're there to represent the seller. You want someone who's working on your behalf. Most experts agree that buyers who try to do everything themselves on their own often end up paying more for a home because they just don't have the negotiation skills or the market knowledge that an agent does. They might also miss out on finding the best home for themselves because they don't have access to all of the listings and the information that the agent has. Not only that, buyers who don't have a real estate expert in their corner can end up with dozens of legal headaches and unexpected costs and end up in a litigation. It's a very complex process when buyers decide to represent themselves in a real estate transaction. Without the expertise of a buyer's agent, they might think they're saving money. Now, I like money, but when you consider the overall financial investment and the potential liability involved, it's really a false savings. Having representation makes a huge difference. For example, according to the National Association of Realtors, homes sold directly by owner, known as for sale by owner or FSBO, without representation, tend to sell for an average of $95,000 less than sellers who use an agent. So if you're having professional representation can make that much of a difference to a seller, think about how much it will benefit you as the buyer, even if you're the one paying your agent's compensation. And you know what? Your agent doesn't get paid at all until they've succeeded in getting you into the home you want. Here's what a great agent does for you. First of all, they guide you towards the right home. This means that they start by connecting you to a reputable mortgage loan officer so you really can understand what you can afford. You don't want to waste your time looking at a Mercedes if a Kia is all you qualify for. Now, a great agent will also help you get a clear understanding of what you need, your priorities, and your must-haves. They'll research different neighborhoods and homes to find you a great match. They'll guide you to detailed information on things like school scores, crime rate, local amenities, and so much more. Now here's the deal. An experienced buyer's agent knows things that you probably aren't even thinking of. Like, is there a lot of traffic in a certain area? Are certain areas and certain neighborhoods selling for more or for less? And why is that? These are the things that you wouldn't think about or you wouldn't know about if you weren't an experienced agent. Now, before you even stepped in your car, you'll know exactly what you're looking at and if that fits what you're looking for. Then once you find a home you like, they'll research the current market and the market trends even further. And they'll talk to the seller's agent about the seller's priorities and their hot buttons. At this point, they'll ask the seller's agent if the seller is or is not willing to pay the buyer agent's fee. All of this is to help you write an offer that will be attractive to the seller at the price you can afford and the terms you want, or to help you decide whether to make an offer at all. Your agent will present your offer and begin the negotiation process. A great agent will be a terrific collaborative negotiator with the experience and expertise to know how to compromise and create the deal that you both are happy with, seller and buyer. Your buyer's agent will be able to negotiate things like rent backs, potential maintenance issues, repair requests, and closing costs, including the agent's compensation. Your agent will negotiate the right price and terms and make sure you're not paying more for the home than you should. They'll negotiate credits and additional items on your behalf that the seller will pay for instead of you. The seller's agent wants to protect the seller and get them the most money and the best terms. As a buyer's agent, their job is to do the same for you. Their goal is to negotiate all of this and make sure you got the best possible price and terms. It's like a loving boxing match with the listing agent and your agent. Once your offer is accepted, your agent then manages all the people and the processes to unearth any issues and finalize the deal. Plus any special inspections needed, like pool, well, or septic. They'll also coordinate appraisals and discuss the results with you. They'll keep on top of lenders and help you provide whatever documentation is necessary. They'll also deal directly with the title and escrow company. Your agent will manage all of these people and processes to keep your transaction on track, and they'll communicate regularly so you'll know exactly what's going on. Their job is also to make sure that you are protected from any legal liability and to keep your initial earnest money deposit safe and ensure the home closes. Yes, your agent will spend literally hundreds of hours. Much of it will be behind scenes working on your behalf. And it's only when they succeed and when you have the keys to your dream home that they get paid. Again, per agreement, you as the buyer are contractually responsible to pay this fee, but your agent will negotiate and try to get the seller to pay it or contribute. This and so much more is what a good buyer's agent will do for you and why you need one.